Hi, and welcome to Holistic Movement with me. And I believe we're on episode 25. So I thought I would open up with a bedtime story for the kiddos and for everyone out there. Don't we love a good bedtime story? There once lived a beautiful princess in a magical land who bled to death. Yeah, Rob, that's not a bedtime story that I would want to tell my. If you were similar to me when you first heard that or read it, you're probably, whoa, what the? I wasn't expecting that at all. Why is that? This is based upon a book called How Emotions Are Made, and I'll write it in the comment section or the intro by a neuroscientist. And I'm reading that right now. And when I read that, I was just so shocked because and the reason why we're so shocked is because 90% of what happens in our brain it already exists, meaning it's based upon predictive behavior from prior habits and neurological connections starting from birth until this very moment. Everything else, the last 10%, is based upon what happens externally in, for one, our visual field, and that's not to name all the other senses. Feeling, for one, okay? And it's based upon a term she uses called interoception, where emotions come from. The reason why I bring this up is because think about this. How you move, 90% is based upon what you've already done within your life. And so it's quite a huge number and a large percentage to retrain the nervous system how to exhibit new habits. And that's why movement is key. And that's why being calm and feeling your body when it's in these old patterns, 90% of the time, it's really important for us to feel where our body is in space and our breath and to retrain it, to renegotiate, as Peter Levine, one of the leading trauma specialists in the world, talks about. That's why it's so difficult to undo trauma, because 90% of it is already ingrained within our central nervous system. So can we renegotiate this? Let's renegotiate by getting into breathing again. So remember last week, I'm going to show you from here. I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to lie down, and we're just going to revisit the, and let me see if I can adjust this mic. There we go. If we can revisit the patterns, the old breathing that we did last week. Remember the first one where we placed our hands right near our pubic bone, and then we breathed into our lower abdominal region. Remember that one? And then the other one where we're holding the sides of our lower rib cage and we're expanding our rib cage out laterally. Okay, so why don't we close our eyes here and just practice those a few times. So when you inhale, you expand those outward to the sides laterally and upward towards the ceiling. Remember, we're breathing through the nose, folks. Okay, now keep those in body. I was about to say in mind. Keep them in mind and body. There's no separation. Now we're going to concentrate on the pelvic floor. So where's your pelvic floor? I'll put a photo right there of where the pelvic floor is. Think about from your pubic bone, the bottom of your pubic bone, all the way to your tailbone. Okay, that area where your junk is. They call it the perineum, the nickname the taint, or in West Virginia they call it the gooch, which is my personal favorite. It just sounds cool. Gooch, the gooch. But you got to say it in a West Virginia accent. I'll be sure to message my friend Kyle from West Virginia, and he'll agree with it. So I want you to think of the pelvic floor as a diaper, because it is basically. It's, and I'm going to come sit up just so you can kind of see. Think of this as your spinal cord, okay? I'm going to show you from the side view. This is your spinal cord, and then your tailbone comes down, and then here's your pubic bone right here. And that pelvic floor is the diaper holding there. So if you have a weak pelvic floor, or if you have no internal awareness and emotional awareness, somatic awareness of this pelvic floor, it becomes weak, and especially in women, but men too, it becomes hypertonic because we hold so much sexual attention there. And so it can pull on your lower back. So a lot of lower back problems are because of weak pelvic floor or hypertonicity of the pelvic floor. But I've talked about this before. I'm just rehashing because it takes me a long time to learn stuff until I repeat it again and again and again because I'm not that smart. So what we're going to do is I want you to imagine the pelvic floor expanding away from your body, down towards your toes. So when you inhale, pelvic floor goes down towards your toes. When you exhale, it comes back up. I'm making this motion with my hand. I'm going to straighten my legs out. Think of the bottom of a balloon expanding. When you inhale, you exhale, it kind of recoils and comes back in. Let's do that a few times. We have already done it a few times. Let's do it a few times more. Now, if this chat is challenging for you, what if you were to place your hand down there? And I'm not saying give yourself a, you pervs. I'm just saying tell your brain that it's there. And I probably look pretty weird doing this. And that's okay. I am weird. And it's okay to be weird sometimes. Okay. Now, continue on that vein. The pelvic floor vein. I hold a lot of tension in my pelvic floor. I have to remind myself probably 20 to 50 times a day to relax it. What about you? Are you having difficulty doing this? If you are, that means revisit it again and again and again until you can let it move using your breath. If you force it, it's not going to move. Meaning, if you push down there, kind of like the same when you try to take a shit, if you push it, causes hemorrhoids, inflammation. So that's why you need to really relax when you take a shit. And it's the same now. Okay, now, next spot. We're going to place one hand right below the collarbones. Sorry, I didn't come up more slowly the way I should. Okay, so we're going to place one hand. You decide which hand you want to place, but I'm going to place it right below my collarbones. Now, interesting fact, the collarbones and these muscles, the scalenes, the first 5% of inhalation happens here. You see my hand moving? So let's activate that. Now, if you're having trouble with that, literally give yourself pressure. Push your hand down. And the fighter that you are, the determination of will that you have to determine your individuality and your belief in personal freedom, as Nicolas Cage would say in, what was that movie? Name that movie, and I'll give you a star. That pushing will offer resistance for resistant forces, and you'll fight against it. You rebel scum. Yeah, okay, now drop that hand. Now we've got how many areas? We got the pelvic floor, we got the area above the pubic floor, we got the sides of the rib cage, and then we got the collarbones up above. So see if you can expand that, expand those areas. On the inhale, exhale comes on in. Think of that balloon. Now you're creating this balloon. We're not done with the balloon. Next week, to keep you watching. You like that little teaser there? We're going to engage the other areas. Keep concentrating on those. And in the following exercises, I'll try my best to remind you to engage those areas when we engage in those movements. Keep doing it. Okay, let's slowly bend our right knee, roll on over to our left-hand side. We're going to come on up and sit. And I thought we'd continue with primary movements, animal movements. And we're going to do some crab walking, and then we're going to do some, if crabs were able to flip over, we'll do some crab flips. So, not to be confused with candy flips, which I will not go into. So, we're going to first bring our hands, actually, let me show you from this camera so you can see my hands a little bit better from behind. So I'm going to start back here. Hopefully I won't go out of frame too much, okay? And I'm going to use my feet. I'm going to find a good position for my hands and my feet. And then I'm just going to lift using my belly button upward, okay? And remember, movement starts in the psoas from here. This is your center. So I'm going to come on up, lift my butt up, and I'm going to walk my left hand and right foot forward, then my left hand and my right hand. Like that. I'm going to go out of frame a little bit, and then watch. I'm going to turn. I'm going to look to the left, look to the right. Look to the left, going backwards, look to the right. Trying to utilize, this is really difficult to use your big toes, but I'm trying to do it. Hi there. So just like we were crawling using the opposing feet and arms, we're doing the same here. And hands, I should say, and arms. I just tensed my mouth, so I'm just relaxing that. I'm trying to use my big toes. Let's do one more forward. And if you want to contribute, if you want to participate in some crab fights, let's come on back to the center. Let's lie back for a second. If you want to participate in crab fighting, please do, but practice crab walking first. Sorry, that noise is this creaky fan up above, ceiling fan. Okay, let's roll on over to our left-hand side again. Now, we're going to do kind of a crab flip. So, actually, let me turn down this fan. Okay. So, I'm going to show you from this back angle. I'm going to show you from a few angles. So, what we're going to do is, actually, let me show you from this angle first so you can kind of see it. I'm going to turn my back hand, my right hand, switch again. I'm going to turn my right hand back towards the camera that way, and I'm going to turn my body to my right. I'm going to come down with my hands, my fingertips forward. And remember this position? We did this one, right? So we're incorporating the crab and the animal walking. Okay, so I'm back into this position. Then I'm going to rotate to the right with here. Again, I'll say this again. All movement initiates from here. And then I'm going to rotate that way. I'm going to bring my right arm back and place my fingertips backwards. Then I'm going to rotate to the left, and my fingers go forward again. And then I just turn. So my hands, my fingertips are faced away from my head. And you see me flipping, see me rolling. So think of your belly button just rolling. And you can do this, just rotate on the one arm. It's kind of like breakdancing, breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. One of the greatest breakdancing movies ever. Ankles cracking. Yep. Keep flipping. Hi there. Okay, come back to center. Let's lie on our backs. I love functional movement patterns and primal movements, animal movements. Feel how your body is recalibrating from what you just experienced. So many sensations and feelings going on in my body here. Welcome them all. Trying to make my exhale a little bit longer. Okay, let's bend our right knee. Let's roll on over to our left-hand side. And we're going to come on up and do a balancing exercise. And I thought of this because my aunt, one of my favorite aunts, Amy, may be watching this. And so you're the inspiration for this. She called me a couple hours ago because she's been in a lot of pain. And so trying to help her with that, send her some videos. And I thought, okay, why don't we do this balancing position so she can watch it, but also everyone else can benefit from it as well. And I picked this up in Structural Integration School, mainly in Maine, and from a classmate, and I love it. I've taught this for years. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand on our left foot, all right? And I'm going to engage my glutes on my left leg and my quads just to help stabilize. I'm going to bring my right knee up. Now, I'm going to put a picture of the sign of infinity right up above or here. And what I want you to do, pretend there's a pencil coming out of the right knee there, facing towards the camera, away from you. And you're going to draw the sign of infinity with your right knee. Yep. And see how big or small your range is. Now, what this does is just hydrates the acetabulum. That's the fancy word for where the femur fits into your hip. And we're just drawing that. That's all we're doing first. And I almost busted it. And I'm using my left toe to help stabilize and balance. So we got a twofery. We got hydration of the acetabulum, or as I call it, the acetabulum, and stabilization, teaching that left big toe to balance. Okay, let's come on down. Let's rest here. Yep. Now, we're going to switch on up. I'm going to stabilize with my right big toe. I'm going to push that down. I'm going to bring my arms up. And then, wow, much easier. The glide, huge difference here. I don't know about you, but my right one was so clunky and stuck with goobity gok. But this one, yeah, moving really smoothly. So this is telling me something. When this video stops, and after I see my client, which is coming soon, I'm going to release my right hip to get more glide. Yep, one more. Okay, as I almost busted. Relax there. Okay, now We're going to draw the sign of infinity with our arms. My left arm first. I'm going to turn my palm upward, supinate the wrist here, like I'm holding a bowl of soup, and my arm comes into external rotation. And then it comes to internal rotation. So I'm drawing the sign of infinity with my left arm. This is really easy, hopefully, for you. If not, slow down. Yep, let's just do a few more. We don't need to do many here. I like this exercise mainly for the hips, but it's wonderful for the shoulders too. Okay, let's drop this left arm, and then we're going to do it with the right. And we don't have to rest in between because my left arm is now resting. So we got internal rotation, external rotation. So we got hydration of the glenohumeral joint. That's the fancy word for where the humerus fits into your rib cage. Yep, let's just do one more. Okay, drop that. Okay, now we're going to combine these two in an anterior chain motion, meaning the left side of my brain and the right side of the brain are going to coordinate to draw two signs of infinity and meet together in the middle. Two infinities. Okay, so I'm going to balance on my left big toe. I'm going to tighten my right glutes and my quads, and I'm going to start drawing that sign of infinity with my right knee. And then I'm going to draw it with my left arm and my hand. And my hand and my knee meet in the middle. Yup. If you can't do this, slow down. Start with the leg first, and then add the arm. Yep, one more. Let's do two more. And there's the sound of my client/friend's Gogoro electric scooter. Okay, let's rest here. Okay, now we're going to switch. We're going to bring the left leg up, the left knee, and we're going to start drawing that sign of infinity. And I almost busted it because my right big toe is weaker than my left one. And then I'm going to draw that sign of infinity with my right arm. And my left arm wants to do it too because of the hemispheres of the brain, the mirror neurons within the brain. And so I'm drawing these two. Meeting together. Why did I say meeting together? They're meeting. One more. If this is challenging for you, stop the video, try it on your own. We're going to stop and take a break, lie on our backs, and wow, I feel those hips, especially my right one. And I notice the circulation, the heat running through my hip joints. Okay, let's bend our right knee. We're going to roll on over to our left-hand side. And everyone knows everyone watches this. If you've watched previous videos, you know that I emphasize finish workouts with extension. So we're going to do a standing extension exercise, and we've done this one before. I'm just adding coronal plane, side flexion, and transverse plane, rotation. And I'm doing this also because I taught this to my Aunt Amy, and I thought I'd re-emphasize it. Hopefully she can watch this. But anyway, so we're going to pretend that our feet are on train tracks here. And I'm going to show you from a few different angles. I'm going to show you from this one. And my left foot, my left lower leg is hopefully vertical. My right leg is straight, and my knee is going to be bent a little bit. I can't get my leg fully straight because of my knee. But I want to keep my back foot straight. We don't want the foot in external rotation because that's going to tax those glutes and that piriformis. Okay, so you can see that, right? Hopefully from this angle too. And what we're going to do is I'm going to imagine a line from my ankle, the front of my ankle, all the way up to my jaw, but then it'll extend all the way up to my fingertips. This is the superficial front line that Thomas Myers calls in Anatomy Trains terminology. Now, when I do this, I immediately feel extension in my tight hip flexors here on my right, especially my quads, but also in my psoas. And so I'm going to bend this left knee a little bit more to accentuate the extension. I'm going to inhale my arms up and then exhale here and relax my shoulders. Because think of this extension coming from the rib cage, not from the arms. Keep your head in a neutral position. We're not letting the head drop back. And I'm going to accentuate the position a little bit more by bending my left knee a little bit more. So I inhale up, exhale. Let's do 2 more. We're not doing that many because we're going to add that coronal plane and that transverse plane. I'm keeping my right butt cheek tight and my right quads. Let's do a few more. Sorry, I just said 2. Okay, let's come back, rest. Let's stand here for a tick. And then I'm going to show you from this angle. Okay, again, we want to make sure that that right foot is straight. I'm going to bring my left leg a little bit more forward. Hopefully you'll be able to see from that camera angle. And I'm going to bring the arms up into that full extension. And I'm going to lean to the left and right in side flexion. Fancy word for this is coronal plane. And the leaning comes from the rib cage, not necessarily the arms. My arms are actually pretty, I was just about to use the word flaccid, but relaxed. Okay? Flaccid, I'm sure, means relaxed, right? As a term of embarrassment for the male gender. And when I engage in this side flexion, especially when I go to the left, I can feel the pull in this coronal plane on my hip flexors. And that's what's special about this, is that most people just think flexion, extension. But how can I get this lengthening in different planes of motion? So then when I do encounter these pulls, it's not such a shock to the nervous system. Yep, I'm still keeping that right butt cheek and my right quads tight. Okay, let's drop the arms. Let's rest here. Keep your legs in this position, but if you need to come back, if you're too tired, please come back. Then watch, I'm going to inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale, come back to the center, exhale, rotate. Again, the rotation comes from the rib cage, not from the arms. The arms are the byproduct. Now, why am I exhaling at the end range here? Because this protects the abdominal region and the lower back and the vertebrae. I'm using both big toes to help stabilize and maintain this balance. Let's do 1 more. Good. Come back to the center. Let's come back and rest. You can check out my bird legs. And then we're going to switch. We're going to bring the right leg in front. Let me show you from this angle. And my left leg back. My left foot is straight. My right knee, I'm going to bend it a little bit more. I'm going to tighten my left butt cheek and my left quads. And then I inhale up. Exhale, get that full extension, let the shoulders drop. Inhale, come down. And then exhale. Sorry, I'm in a rush. I need to slow down. I'm going to inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, come down. Exhale here. Let's inhale again. Inhale up. Exhale, let the shoulders drop. Inhale, come down. Exhale here. Inhale up again. Exhale. Now, how can I visualize and feel that full superficial front line, meaning from the top of my ankle all the way up to my jaw as one continuous line to extend. Let's do 2 more. And I'm bending my right knee a little bit more to bring my pelvis down and to bring me into more extension. Okay, let's rest here. I'm going to give you the side view, the model view. I'll just turn my head and look at you in displeasure. Okay, now let's do the side flexion. Okay, which leg was forward? Man, the left leg is back, right leg is forward. Now we're going to come up into this side flexion. Okay, and so I inhale in the center, and then I'm going to exhale, protect that abdominal core. So exhale here, inhale back, exhale to the other side. Again, can you feel the rib cage engaging in this side flexion? And breathe into the sides of your rib cage, like how we started class. Remember how we were breathing into the sides of the rib cage? Can you engage in that again? Let's do 2 more. Okay, stay there, keep the legs there, make sure that left foot didn't move. Tighten your left butt cheek and your quads again, and then inhale, exhale, rotate to the left, to the right, inhale, exhale, to the left. Let's do 2 more. Okay, we're all done. Let's lie on our backs. And look at your body, make sure it's straight, tuck the chin under, turn the palms upward. And then let's come back to that breathing exercise that we started at the beginning of the episode. So remember the pelvic floor, let it drop, let that diaper drop. And then the sides of the rib cage, let them expand outward. And then right above the pubic bone, let that expand upward towards the ceiling. And then right near the collarbones, those scalenes. Okay, so we got all those different positions to concentrate on. And remember, think of this as a balloon, the front and the bottom of the balloon, and the size of the balloon. Next week, if you tune in next week, you like that teaser? Then we'll encapsulate the whole balloon. 99 Luft balloons. Am I saying that correctly, Christoph? Luft? Remember the German song? 99 Luft balloons. I heard a German grunt. I've got my friend on the other side of the camera who is a Kraut, and he will not verify whether the word Luft is spoken correctly. But I believe he grunted, so that means yes, because that's what Germans do, they grunt. Urgh. Keep concentrating on that balloon and fall. See you next week.